Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Hector Rivas, and in this video, I am going to explain to you your midterm project. Your midterm project is the project that you started working since the beginning of the semester, and that is your 5 character art. So let's go through this. I created this document for you. And in this document, I shared it with you online in your Canvas portal, so you should be able to see this. The objective of this project is to utilize Illustrator and Photoshop, the skill sets that we have covered thus far, and we're going to be covering multiple skill sets. This is a project that takes a lot of time. You're gonna have, I believe, let's see, you have typically on the regular semester, you're gonna have 10 weeks to work on it, and you've started working on it since the beginning of it, since week number 1. And so what you're doing is you are starting out, which is step 1 here, by creating 5 character art to populate a animation or a video game of your liking. So here's an example of a animated one that this person did because she wanted to do an animated short. So this student created 5 character art, and it looks a little bit distorted because these are screen captures, but I wanted to show you all 5 of the character art that she drew. Now, it started out with rough pencils, and then she cleaned up her pencils and eventually inked them to look like this. So this is after you draw it and you ink it, then you go to step 2. Step 2 is to bring it into Illustrator, to scan it and bring it into Illustrator, and then you ink it. So you use the pen tool, you use the coloring tool, the eyedropper tools to do some dissection and learn how to do the gradients. All these lessons are being covered, or again, they are going to be released in different weeks. So you should have access to how to create this with time. And again, these are going to be 5 illustrations in Illustrator, the 5 character art that you created up here. Step 3. After you do it in Illustrator, then you're going to import them into Photoshop, and then you're going to start photoshopping them. You're going to use the Photoshop techniques that we'll cover in this class to do shading, to be able to do highlights, shadows, dodging and burning, to create your own brushes, to give it a custom shadow. So all those lessons are also going to be on Canvas. After you finish it in Photoshop, step 4 is going to be to drop them in to a template that I will give you. And on this template, you're going to drop in your original drawing like this, then your Illustrator work, and then your Photoshop work. So you're going to do this to 5 images. You're going to save them as JPEGs, and you're going to submit them. Now, I did special notes here that this is a lengthy project, that you have to be patient with yourself, and that you should draw within your limit. If you feel like your character art needs a little bit of work, spend time with it, but don't try to do something that is too much beyond your skill set in your drawing capacity. You don't have to be a good drawer per se to get a good grade in this class. This is digital paint and ink. It's not a drawing class. So I am not grading you on your drawing skill set. I'm grading you on your ability to be able to draw what you can bring in onto the computer, and to be able to do it digitally, to be able to have the good digital drawing techniques and digital painting techniques. So here's a few student samples. In fact, let me show you more student samples so you can get an idea. I have some here. Okay, so These are student samples, and let me just run through them. There's quite a few. Again, this is paper and pencil on the left-hand side, Illustrator and Photoshop. So you see different students have different takes on their drawings. Some of them like to go for more of a realistic look, like this particular student. Others are more cartoony, more animated. What I do like about some of these poses is that they are a little dynamic. They're not just looking straight at the camera. I think this is what you should go for, is try to get a personality pose. But you can see, you know, this is a relatively simple drawing, but it's clean. It's nice. That's exactly what we're looking for, is even if it's a simple drawing, make it look professional and ready for a video game or an animated series. In a second, after I show you these, I am going to go over your rubric to tell you how I'm going to grade it, and I'm going to explain to you how do you get an A in this project. This is the nice thing about the kind of work that we do, that we can be creative. Like, for example, this is a piece of gum that's wrapped up on a gum wrapper and a used Q-tip there on the side, and his animation is going to be about that. And, you know, this is kind of an unwholesome snail that's cracked on the side there. It kind of reminds me of Gary from SpongeBob a little bit, but unwholesome. And then there's some students who take it to the next level, and they spend a lot of time developing their character art. Like this is really highly rendered drawing, and this is all original content, which is what I'm asking for you. For all this character art, they're not from an existing video game or an animation. This is original character art. See, this is kind of interesting. Like, you know, the proportions off. Like, you see how the hand on it stops at the waist. This hand should be lower, right about this size here. But it's animation, so you can create your character art that way. It's about stylizing it. Some people do oversized hands, oversized heads, oversized eyes, or undersize. Like this particular character is missing a head, and this one has, what is it, like one of those old school records, like a xylophone, I believe it's called, for a head. Look at this funky woman here with an afro and two guns and the high heels platforms. Okay, so I think you get the gist of the character art that we're going for. This is, in some semesters I allow them to crop it, the character art, so it's not a full body pose, but I am asking for a full body pose from you, the whole body. And again, a character pose would be fantastic to capture their personality. Okay, grading. Let's see. I'm going to go to the rubric, which I'm also giving to you. And notice that this project is in the color red, so it matches the rubric. I'm trying to make it as simple for you to connect everything that belongs to this project. So 5 character art. This is the skill sets that I am going to be looking for. Digital inking, so that's Illustrator. Clean drawings, I want them to be colored perfectly. I want them to have highlights and shadows. Vector art skills, that's still Illustrator. So I want to see patterns, textures, masks. I want it to be accurate. In Photoshop, I'm looking for clean painting, nice layer organization, good shading techniques. Pixel art skills, that's still in Photoshop. So these two belong to Photoshop. So gradients, dodging and burning, and textures. Texture and masking kind of go hand in hand. And then the overall, how creative is your project? How organized is it? How clean is your presentation? So all of this is your rubric. 100 points total. And to get an A, you can just read everything that goes under the A column. To get a B, this is all the skill sets that you will need and the accomplishment of those skill sets. So if you get the letter A, that's exemplary. You mastered the skill set. B, you did pretty good. C, it's average. And D, it needs work. It's not there yet. And as you guys know, I do not take late work. So it is due when it's due, whatever the date that's published, that's the day that I will receive the artwork, but not a day after. Okay, I believe that explains everything about this particular project, about the midterm. Remember, it's 5 character arts to populate a video game or an animation of your choosing. It should be a fun project for you, and I hope that you get into it, because eventually this is going to become a portfolio piece for you that you can show people that, when I say people, I mean like future employers, that you love animation, that you love games, and that you populated these characters. And again, you're going to take these characters and you're going to take them to the next level in your next classes. Like, you're going to learn how to make them move, how to animate them. You're going to learn how to import them into a video game engine so they're actually playable characters. So I want you to love your characters, like really get into them. Fill up pages and pages of studies, like face studies, eyes, mouths, nose. But inevitably, what I'm looking for is your final artwork. That's it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.